Hello, just popping in real quick to tell you about my podcast, Unruly Fashion, brought to you by the Podpire Network. I'm your host, Noella Eze. From the title of the podcast, you can tell that it's unruly. It's not going to be a regular fashion podcast. It's not conventional. It's not normal. It's not what you expect to see, but it's going to be quite the experience. Where can you find it? Well, come hang out with us every Wednesday, wherever you find your podcast. It's going to be great. I could tell you that for free. I mean, that's where all the cool kids are. So unless you're trying to tell me you're not cool, then damn, I don't know what to tell you, son. Yeah, show up. I expect to see you there. Come along. See you later.
The following podcast is a production of the Podpire Network. Find and listen to our podcasts at thepodpirenetwork.com or wherever you enjoy your podcast. The Podpire Network, a family of inspired podcasts. Yellow.
Hey.
Hello, world.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yeah.
We're back.
It is so good to be back. And I'm Bibby, and the other voice you're hearing, of course, is the one and only
Sibel.
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 That's right. And Sibel. It is really good to be back, and I'll tell you something. So we missed last week's episode because Mr. Brainy Pants over there had a serious exam that he had to go do, and an academic exam, not a physical exam, not a medical exam. And
yeah,
he had to go deal with that. And I'll just say this off the top, right? Is I think I want to start a campaign for a new saying, which is don't judge a person by their podcast.
What?
And that's because no. Let me finish. And that's because if you listen to this podcast, you might be tempted to think that of the two of us, that's Sibel and myself, that Sibel is the less serious one of us. That he is just a very
Damn right.
Jokerish
That's exactly
guy,
what you
right?
should believe.
Right? But in truth, in real life, IRL, this dude is way smarter than I could ever hope to be. He is studying.
That's a lie.
He is studying really, really complicated medical stuff. And Sibel, you want to tell the folks how you did well enough to be in the top whatever percent?
Oh, yo. We don't need to.
Whatever.
We don't want to
tell them that.
We don't need to share that. We don't need to share that. I did well enough. I'm happy.
I think it is very important that they know. Well enough. That is an understatement, guys.
No.
That is a serious understatement.
Yeah. I will just say that I'm applying for a.
You're smart. Don't get. You seem so embarrassed.
I'm applying for. Well, nothing's happened yet.
You seem so embarrassed. What kind of world is it that people are embarrassed?
No, I haven't got.
Smart?
Okay.
They would just rather sound like.
Well, time out.
You're smart, dude.
I haven't gotten in
smart,
yet.
Dude. Just accept it.
I haven't gotten in yet.
All right.
Yeah.
But you were top whatever.
Yeah,
right?
top whatever. Top whatever.
Of a lot of people who took this test and did this exam, you were top something. We're just gonna withhold that figure.
Yeah.
You were top. Actually, no. I'm not gonna withhold anything. You were top 18.
Oh, jeez. dude.
Of all the people from over the let's not. No. I'm not gonna let you let this slide.
Baby.
You are smart, my friend. I am proud of you. Me and your mommy, we're proud of you.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
It's two people in this world who are proud of you. Me and your mommy. That's it.
You're kind,
and we're going to celebrate you, damn it. But look, this is probably a good point to say, that you, my friend, have a new podcast coming soon to the Podpire Network, right?
Yeah.
And this is going to be, more in line with your, what you study, which is just amazing to me and absolutely fantastic. Do you want to tell the good people?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah.
sort of like the broad strokes of this new podcast is coming soon.
So,
I'm thinking maybe April, May-ish timeline.
yeah.
We might be getting that new podcast on the network. That's really exciting, man. Just plug this podcast real quick.
Thanks, and BB, thanks for your support with this. Right. So just to give the listeners a bit of a background, I'm a biomedical engineer. That means I study
biomedical engineer.
Dude. I basically
how could you be such a cool thing and then expect me to not let everyone know that you're smart? Like, all dude, right. Come on.
All right. Let me just explain. So biomedical engineers, we study all the forms of engineering as they apply to the human body and medicine. And so my interest has always been artificial limbs. And now what I'm studying is prosthetics and orthotics technician, which is the fabrication of artificial limbs and orthotics for use in hospitals, which is quite different than engineering. It is the folks who actually are the this is the sort of like the craftsmen who work at the back of the hospital and actually build the devices. The exam that BB was talking about is I am trying to get into the clinical program so I can work directly with patients. I've done well enough to make it into the next round, but we'll see if I get in because only a few people are selected each year. So it might be another few years. We'll see. We'll see.
If you don't get in, the entire Harebrained Schemes podcast family community all around the world will send angry letters. I can tell you that. They will send angry letters to the institution. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's boy in.
Oh man, it's okay. In. It's okay. It's okay. It could be another year. And that's fine too. Because I'm actually, the program I'm in is 2 years, and I'm still doing the first year, so I would have plenty more to learn.
So look, you can't be the smart person.
You know big words. It's a whole thing.
You can't be the smart. You can't be the smart person and the funny person on the podcast, man. You got to leave me one. So you got to let me be the funny person on the podcast now.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. Sorry, I refuse.
Damn you, man!
Let me tell them about the podcast. We got derailed. Okay, dear listeners, the podcast is me and some friends from the program.
Some other smart friends. There's going to be Mark and Owen, right?
Mark and Owen.
Come on, do this justice. Come on,
very
I'm
talented,
excited.
Very sharp guys.
And the podcast is going to be called.
It's going to be called Enabling Motion, and what we're talking about
Enabling Motion on the Podpire Network.
Enabling Motion on the Podpire Network. Yeah, it's a podcast that we're talking about what you'd call rehabilitation engineering or rehabilitation sciences. So developments in the fields,
around the world,
updates around the world in the spaces related to prosthetics, orthotics.
That are enabling new possibilities, right?
Yes, enabling new possibilities for people to move better, to be able to do more, and even people who say, for example, are using wheelchairs, who are completely paralyzed, but using brain-computer interfaces. So the idea there is that we want to create something that is accessible enough to someone who is relatively familiar with, say, biology, and it will provide a quick update every 2 weeks or so. Probably on 3
So how about people
topics.
like myself who are not as smart? Will you be speaking in, everyday English, or can I expect to just go to sleep as soon as I,
We're definitely not going to try. We will try to bring the language to as close as colloquial English as possible. However, what we
conversational,
conversational as possible. However, what we're trying to target here are people who are either in the field, who are coming towards the field, or who are interested in the sciences. Someone who, say, for example, who's taken high school sciences shouldn't find this too hard to follow. Is the idea.
Okay. And just like that, I'm back in the fold.
Back in the fold. Yeah. It's the idea there is, if you imagine it, we want to do something that a professional working in the field or an undergrad who is interested in this can put it on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and quickly get updated on 3 or 4 topics that are really interesting. So
Right.
it's not going to be
Right.
as conversational as you might be used to, but it's meant to be
Right.
quick, accessible, and
Right.
highly salient.
Right. Right. So it's not going to be robotic, but it's going to be, it's still going to be very educative. It's nothing like the vibe of Harebrained Schemes. I think the most jarring thing for folks who may decide to go check that out after listening to this
I
little
may not
plug here
sound, yeah, you
is
might not.
how different exactly it's going to be. Like, wait, is that Sibel? Is that the court jester that we're so used to on Harebrained Schemes? He's not dancing for his lunch? No?
No.
Right. No, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this this expansion of the Podpire Network universe. I think this is something that, everybody on the network is going to be so proud to be associated with. Because again, I mean, if you look at people who it's going to be one of those things that if you don't really need it in your life, if nothing's happened in your life to make you care about the stuff, you probably won't seek it out. But for the people who either know someone who is going through mobility challenges or, they themselves have been through some things, this stuff is going to be highly relevant, right? So
I think so. I
yeah.
think by keeping it short, the reality is that most of
25 minutes, right.
Yeah, I think it's short enough that it can be accessible. I think out of the field of biomed engineering, artificial limbs and things like that are often the most accessible and most interesting to people, which is why everyone likes Iron Man, for example, right?
Right.
So,
right.
And I find that it's very uplifting personally. So, for example, that recent, I think I was telling you about it, but there was that article that now it's making the news everywhere about the device which is allowing people who are paralyzed in their legs the ability to walk again.
Was that in Switzerland or something?
It's a Swiss company.
What country was that?
It is a Swiss company.
Right. That's right. You did tell me about
that.
Yeah.
And actually I started following it over, must have been like more than a year ago. But
nice.
It genuinely brought a tear to my eye because I want you to take a second and imagine that in your close circle, you hear about someone who has suddenly had has been in an accident and their spine's been damaged. And now everyone is worried. And normally what that worry is like, will this person ever walk again? And for the first time in human history, the
answer could be yes.
The answer is it doesn't really matter. We can fix it.
Wow.
That's a fundamental change.
Okay. Guys, you can hear Sibel using his serious voice. It means this stuff is serious here. So yeah, but you know what? Let's save it. Let's save some of that serious Sibel. Your alter ego. Let's save that for the so once again the podcast is going to be called Enabling Motion. It's coming to the Podpire Network in the April-May timeframe. We're going to be so excited to let you know about that. But in the meantime, this is Harebrained Schemes, a podcast where Sibel and I talk about some of the most ill-conceived ventures in all of history. Sometimes criminal, sometimes just dumb, sometimes successful, oftentimes not. But always funny. Always funny. So yeah, this is the podcast you tuned into. We're gonna give it to you. And today we're talking about a certain Simon Leviev. And if you have your finger on the pulse of popular culture, especially in the early February, time frame this year, you probably had all over your Netflix, you had the ads for the Tinder Swindler.
The Tinder Swindler. Oh my goodness, is there such a thing as a Tinder Swindler?
Yeah, I would say Tinder It is such a fertile playground for just all kinds of confidence. I mean, whether you're doing it for criminal purposes or you're just doing it to project an image of something that you're not, Tinder is, and apps like that, not just Tinder, right? It's just, I mean, of course, there was bound to be someone like this. But yes, we're going to be talking about Simon. And it's going to be a nice conversation. I hope, just talking about all the horrible things.
It's going to be a wonderful conversation.
It's going to be a wonderful, uplifting. It's going to be an uplifting conversation about how deplorable humankind can be.
This guy just sounds
we're just
weird.
Gonna say,
he sounds so strange.
Yeah. We're just going to say, though, that at the top, very similar to what we've done in the past, you can go ahead and apply a blanket, universal, globally provisioned, allegedly, to everything.
Oh, no. You know what I was going to say is, a friend of mine who is also a fan of our podcast he's like,
right.
Should I take anything you're saying seriously? And I was like, what? No, but why? Because I am about this serious, I'm about this silly all the time.
Right.
And I'm like, why? He's like, because you guys said at the beginning of one of the podcasts that everything we say from this point on is a blanket allegedly. And you never said that you never killed it. So from that point on, everything you have said is just a blanket allegedly. But we just doubled down. We just doubled down. We're now at double allegedly.
So not only for that podcast, every time you hear our voices after that, it's an allegedly.
Yeah, but now we've just double allegedly. Everything from this point on is double allegedly. We're allegedly saying.
Listen, I know we're pretty comfortable in our positions here at the Podpie Network, but we don't want to get fired. We don't want to get sued. We don't. We don't want to get fired or sued. We don't want to be called into anyone's office to talk about, hey, man, there's a $10 million lawsuit. So, yes, allegedly it is. Allegedly. Because in this particular case, though, he is claiming that he is not the guy portrayed in the documentary. So, what are you going to do? You're going to put in allegedly. Come on. So,
agreed.
Yep, that's it. So he has gone to jail for other things.
Yeah.
We might just sneak that in. Yeah. That doesn't have to be covered by an allegedly. He has
in
gone to jail for other things. In 2 different countries. But for the allegation of Tinder swindling, he has not successfully been prosecuted. So we will put the allegedly. Sounds good, Sibel?
I agree, my dear friend. So we should mention.
I mean, I don't know about you. I don't want my Ford Escape to be confiscated. That's all I'm saying.
You don't want your Ford Escape to be confiscated?
I don't want my Ford Escape to be confiscated and sold to pay my bond. Come on.
Wait. You don't believe that your Ford Escape could escape after it's been confiscated?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a good point at which we go for an ad break. When you start to... yeah. Sorry, guys. He's glitching. He's glitching a little bit. That you're not even a dad, and that is worse than a dad joke. That is horrible.
You know what I'm saying? Someone cracked a dad joke, and I was like, huh. Have you checked in with your ex recently?
What? What?
Yeah, when it's a really bad dad.
Are you sure you don't have any kids out there that just activated the dad genes? Yeah, yeah, buddy. You might want to phone her and just say hi, see if she has anything to tell you, huh? Yeah.
I don't have any exes.
Anyway.
I've been alone since I was born. I'm alone now, and I probably will be alone forever.
You don't get this funny by having love in your life. Come on. Everyone knows that.
Wow. That is so depressing. That is so depressing. We're going to go on a quick break. We will be right back. Don't go nowhere. It's Harebrained Schemes. Okay, we are back. How
Hello,
are you
hello,
doing,
hello.
Sibel?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling.
You ready for this? You ready to do this?
I'm chilling, man. Let's get into the swindling of the Tinding.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. You ready? All right. So today we are talking about a certain Simon Leviev, right? He was not born with that name, however.
Yes.
He was born Shimon
Yehuda.
Yehuda
Hayut.
Hayut. Or Hayut? Is that Hayut? I'm just hoping
I
So,
don't speak Hebrew,
I'm just
unfortunately. I think
right.
it's Hayut.
So a blanket apology at this point as well
Yes,
for
blanket
any
apology.
names
I
that
could
we
ask my
might
friend who
butcher.
speaks Hebrew. I should have
It's
asked him.
not
I feel bad.
it's not intentional.
My friend who actually listens to
we're
our
not trying
podcast
to
speaks
be.
Hebrew. I should have asked him.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, next time, but yeah, no. Look,
Sorry, Alan.
he changed his name, right? He changed his name, and you will see why. He had nefarious intent. So we're gonna go straight to the Wikipedia, of course, which is a good place to start. And it says, he was born on September 27, 1990, right? So he's 31, right? In an Israeli, in an Israeli town. So he's an Israeli con man, convicted of theft, forgery, and fraud. And according to the Times of Israel, between 2017 and 2019, he allegedly conned an estimated $10 million from victims across Europe in a Ponzi scheme.
$10 million.
Wow.
10
sticks. That's that's big leagues, man.
That's
10
some
sticks.
Real money. That's some real money.
That's some real change, man. That should get you at least a year of Starbucks, man. That's that's good.
That'll buy you a few frappuccinos.
Now, yeah, with all the toppings too. It's like toppings on your toppings, right? So it goes on to say his criminal activity became widely known in 2019 after the publication of an article titled "The Tinder Swindler" by investigative journalists from the Norwegian tabloid Vardens Gang, with support from Israeli journalist Yuri Blau, and later with the release of the 2022 Netflix documentary of the same name. I think we've established and reestablished and overestablished the pattern here. It's a winning formula.
Netflix.
As soon as you do something,
Netflix, HBO, and Hulu. Netflix, HBO, and Hulu are where you go when your con doesn't work out.
Right. When you're caught, it could work, but whenever you're caught and it becomes, a thing, just sign a deal, man. Sign a deal. Although, from what I hear, this dude is currently fighting, the Netflix documentary, saying that it's not true and the portrayal of himself was not accurate. And he is just
Wasn't he in the Netflix documentary? He was in it. He was in it.
So part of what he's saying now is,
if I was a swindler, why would I have participated? Why was I not arrested on set of the Netflix documentary?
So yeah,
because Netflix actively works with Interpol all the time. It's a whole thing. Yeah, Netflix and Interpol are the same organization, baby.
Didn't you?
Everyone knows
Didn't you know that
this.
Netflix was just the front store for Interpol?
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. So he says he didn't do
my
nothing,
God.
and it's just one big misunderstanding. So this dude just strikes me as someone who, he wanted a whole bunch of something for nothing, right? And he was willing to break hearts to do it, right? He figured out he would corner the market on the romance scam, right? Which is a scam involving winning someone's affection to the point where they're willing to do things that they would normally do, right? And then you can clean them out for everything they've got. And he did it successfully, apparently, across Europe. Yeah. What's your first read on this guy, man?
I'm kind of confused by him, but it seems like he, in his read, when I was looking through all the
research stuff, right?
Was that he's been trying, all the research stuff was that he's been trying different like get rich quick schemes since he was a teenager.
Since he was a child, exactly. We're about to go into that.
Yeah,
right.
basically,
right. Right.
And he just managed to figure out that apparently, if you do the right thing psychologically, if he does the right thing psychologically to the right women, he can convince them to give him a lot of money.
Right.
And that was it. Like, so he's just been trying to find the right play.
He's been sharpening his tool until, it was good enough for prime time. And then, once it sliced through the first tree trunk, he was like, woohoo, samurai sword. And then he just went across Europe, just slicing through the trees. So
I feel like that's it. I feel like that is giving him too much credit. It feels more like this guy was just taking a ball and kept throwing it at everything until it finally hit. He was like, let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try that.
You have absolutely no respect for him, is what I'm hearing. You have zero regard for this dude, is what I'm hearing.
No, I mean, kind of. I don't know. I feel like romance is a bit weird in that, like, he was really going for. He was appealing to irrationality and trying to get people. He was forcing them to see. He was using romance so that they were not thinking clearly.
That's right.
And,
that's right.
That's right. It was,
and that's why the romance scam is a time-tested scam. So it says at the age of 15, he moved to Brooklyn. What up, Brooklyn? We were just talking about the Brooklyn Bridge the other day, right?
Yeah.
So
I wonder if he tried to sell the Brooklyn Bridge.
Wonder if he tried that too. But
just once. He once walked up and he's like, "Hey, would you like to buy the Brooklyn Bridge?" And some guy's like, "That's crazy." And he's like, "All right, well, maybe not that one." It never even he never even got recorded because he only did it once or twice.
Right. Hey, look, that was a joke. That was a joke. We don't know that he tried to sell the Brooklyn Bridge.
We don't. Yes, this is true. We have no research to back this up. Sibel's just making up jokes.
There was zero research around that one. But okay, so he moved to Brooklyn at 15, right, with family friends, right, which apparently is a common thing, right, to do, certain. Sometimes, your family friends who live in the US or in the UK or something, they'll say, hey, your boy is, your boy's at the age where he should be in high school or something. You want him to come to the US or come to the UK, finish up high school so that he stands a better chance of, getting into a college here or something. You just that kind of thing you do for friends, the children of friends that you've known for a very long time. But what does young Shimon do when he gets there? He promptly steals their credit card and misuses it. That is so dastardly, man. Sibel, can you think of friends of your mom or dad taking you to the U.S.? You seem floored. You can't even focus. It's just really messed up, right? I get it. It's really messed up. I mean, friends of your mom or dad say, okay, Sibel, we're going to take you to the U.S. You're going to come live with us. We're going to, you finish up high school here and then, you stand a better chance of, getting into a college here. Let's do it. And then you promptly you swipe their Amex. You swipe their Amex and you start to buy stuff. What the hell is wrong with you?
God. Yeah, he
It
really
is
had.
it is really messed up. He's been a piece of work for forever, it seems, right?
Yeah, he really doesn't seem to like very early on. Just doesn't really have that sense of like caring
Not
about
that
other
moral
people
code. No,
much.
no. It also says,
No.
according to interviews done by Felicity Morris, Leviev has been committing minor cons like check fraud since he was a teenager, right?
A teenager.
Yeah, yeah. So it also goes into explaining why he changes his name from Shimon Hayut to Simon Leviev. It says he later changed his legal name using the surname Leviev to pretend that he was related to Lev Avnerovich.
Avnerovich.
Is it Avnerovich or Avnerovich? Come on, dude.
He's Russian. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Avnerovich. Avnerovich.
Avnerovich.
I think Avnerovich is just too North American. It's like, what's your name, sir?
Yeah.
Avnerovich? No, man, it's Avnerovich.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
There you go.
Avnerovich.
Right,
Lev
Avnerovich.
Avnerovich.
You stop. You stop. Anyway, so Leviev,
Known
an
as the
Israeli
King of
businessman
Diamonds.
known as the King of Diamonds. Exactly. So he
Who, by the way, has a net worth of $1 billion
as
of
at
March
20
2018.
exactly as at 2018, 4 years ago. So dude, this is a deliberate and intentional plan to deceive, right? You change your name, you take the last name of someone who is easily recognizable in the diamond trade, and then you pass yourself off as his son. Now, in interviews that I've watched over the past few days researching this episode, right? He said that he never explicitly told anyone that he was Lev Levievich's son. But come on. Come on. Even if he didn't, he must have heavily.
Leviev has 9 children.
Right. So it's kind of easy to get lost in the list there. It's like, hey, which one are you? It's like, which one? Which one are you?
Does he have to say he's a child? Could he not be a nephew?
Right. But apparently he passed himself off as the son, right? Yeah, I mean, this is usually a common, sort of setup in the romance scam, which is you set yourself up as someone who already has money, Sibel. Who doesn't need the money, right? Remember Anna Delvey? She was an heiress already. So if she was asking you to loan her $2,000, $3,000, it's like, of course, yeah, like, oh yeah, no, I'll get it back, right? Like, I'll get it back. In this case, he was purportedly the son of someone worth at least $1 billion that we know of, right? And so if he was saying, I need you to float me 20 grand or 200,000 real quick, I just, for whatever reason, you kind of go like, okay, I mean, I'm sure he burns through that and, on a Friday night at the club, I'm sure I'll get it back, right? So, yeah. Right. Yeah. So I guess it's just gotten to the point now where, if you have any friends in your circle that you think are rich, just tell them to show you their tell them to show you their bank balance real quick, just to confirm before you give them that $5, man.
It's a good call.
Yeah, man. It's like,
yo, Sibel, can I hold $5 real quick? I'm good for it.
Yeah. Let me see your bank app real quick.
Yeah.
Let me see your banking app real quick. Let me just, for no reason. I just, just curious, right? Because you never know.
You say you're good for it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's prove it.
Prove it.
Prove it right now.
You say you're good.
Right.
Now.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where, and again, let's be clear, these women that he conned were not like airheads, or they were not, whatever stereotypes you want to ascribe to women who would fall for a con like this. These women were not that. These were educated, accomplished, women who were, as smart as anybody else. They were not necessarily particularly gullible, but like Sibel had said, he got them to fall in love with him. These women were obsessed with him. They thought they had found the one, right? And so when you found the one, right, what is going out of your way to help them out with financial challenges? I mean, what is that to you? You're going to do that, right? It's not a thing to think about. It's just, yeah, of course, like my partner needs this sort of help. Of course I'm going to do it. And the other
Right.
part of his con, right, Sibel, which is just really messed up. Actually, before I go into that, I just want to mention honorable mention from his younger years. He once left a baby unattended when he was supposed to be
Yes.
babysitting that baby, and he ran out on the family. He stole their credit card, and he left the baby
checkbook.
unattended and checkbook. That, in my book, is the worst of his crimes ever. Like, how do you leave a baby unattended and then you bounce and you steal their card and their checkbook and you run? And what the hell is wrong with you, man? Like, what? Like,
Yep.
do you have zero moral? I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for, Isabel? Like, there's just no limit for this guy. Like a baby, really?
It's inhumane, man. It's literally stealing money from
That's
a baby.
sick. That's sick. And leaving the baby unattended. That part just it really messes me up, man. It really, because any number of things could have. I mean, if the baby had choked on something, if the baby had crawled into a danger zone and fallen down some stairs, or come on, man, come on.
Yep.
Was there no other window you wanted to steal from this family so bad? There was no other window that you could think of that did not directly endanger the baby's well-being and health and maybe even life? Come on. So, yeah, for me, that was the worst of the crimes. But, back to where I was. So, it says that he was, oh geez, it says this dude would send his partners at the time pictures of urgency, right? Showing that his bodyguard had been assaulted, showing, threatening text messages that his life was in danger as a result of his involvement in the diamond trade. And just again, for the listeners, let's remind you, this dude had no connection with any diamond trade. His dad was not the king of diamonds as he had been, he had been presenting himself. And so it was kind of like,
I've made enemies as a result of the work I'm into. I need you to float me this cash ASAP because my
Let's
money...
take a step back, baby.
Okay, go ahead.
Just quickly for our listeners. So one of the other things that he would do is that he would take these ladies on trips on private jets.
Oh yeah, private jets,
so
champagne.
He was really showing, so he's really showing off the wealth too, right? So he wasn't. So when he was asking for this money, he was also showing that he was spending a lot of money. That
there you go.
So his claims were being backed up by real spending.
There you go.
And
now, does this make you wonder, Sibel, if he had accomplices that have not yet been named? Because how do you get access to a private jet? Those things are not cheap to rent even for an hour, right? So do you think that he had accomplices that he split his takes with?
Well, it says he was using a Ponzi scheme, which means that, and I think that makes sense, is that it was just his previous victims' money was just being used to rent the next thing. Right?
Okay, so maybe no accomplices. All right.
Jets.
Okay.
I think maybe the bodyguard.
Maybe the bodyguard, the one with the pictures and stuff. Okay, right. Yeah, because he would send pictures of his bodyguard badly beaten, right? Bloodied up.
Yeah, but
it
was the same pictures from the same bodyguard.
It was the same pictures again all the time to all these different women, right?
But the question I have is, did the women meet that bodyguard?
I have no idea.
Because that would definitely lend credibility to it, wouldn't it?
I have no idea. right? And if they did meet the bodyguard, then that sort of helps me lean further into the, sort of theory that maybe bodyguard was an accomplice, right? Maybe they were in it
It would
together.
also
Who knows?
it would also make it, I think, more convincing for the women, right? Like,
Right.
oh my God.
Right.
This guy, the
Right.
bodyguard, who they even have a connection with, like,
Exactly.
oh, Yuri, the bodyguard,
Right.
has he's been stabbed. Oh my God.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, he did them dirty, man. He did them real dirty. So there was this, element of urgency to it as well. And this is a classic social engineering technique. I mean, I work in tech, and one of the things that I tell people when, they get emails and they're not sure, if it's a real email or whatever, yes, there are certain steps like look at the email address, make sure there are no, it's Microsoft not spelled with 3 R's, that kind of thing, or, Microsoft, right? Not that kind of thing. Or look at the body of the email, make sure there are no, grammatical errors and tactical errors, but also look at the stuff that's being sent. If it tells you need to click this link now, otherwise your password will be revoked, otherwise, there's always that element of urgency, like, oh, you have to take action now, so that, you know what I mean? So that worse things, it's like something bad has happened, but you have to take action now to prevent worse things happening, right? That's always a theme, right? With the social engineering emails, right? The phishing emails. And so he took, something out of that playbook and said, how do I replicate this in real life? So it's like, my bodyguard's been stabbed. I am on the run. Take action now by giving me all your money so that something worse doesn't happen to me. It's like, I could just see the parallels, and I was like, oh man, these ladies just needed a high level IT briefing on how to not click on phishing emails, right? Because this dude was essentially a walking, talking phishing email, right? And it's just so sad.
Yeah.
It's just so sad, man. It's just so sad. They would sometimes,
really sad.
it says the women,
what I always, oddly enough, I think about with that is that in basic marketing, like when you walk into a store and they say that, hey, actually today, if like a salesman comes up to you and they stand next to you and they're like, hey, actually today, like on this this product or this bottle, like in a wine store,
right,
there's this deal if you want to get it,
right.
By putting that time pressure on someone, I question the ethics of that, because it reduces their ability to make a clear decision.
Right. But you do know that the whole putting things on sale thing is a scam, right? I mean, is this the quiet part out loud that I'm saying? Because nobody's going to be selling under their cost point. You realize that. So if something suddenly drops from $500 to $15, it means that they were making that stuff for $10 the whole time. That's what it means. They're never, so even a sale, it just means a drastic reduction in the amount of gouging they're doing, but they're still not making a loss. I can assure you that. So,
welcome to capitalism, baby.
Welcome.
Would you like to have your mind boggled? Welcome to capitalism. 101.
But yes, this is true.
It's like,
right?
It's like reduce the price point, get the inventory off the shelf.
Exactly. And then you go in there all excited, like, ooh, this used to be $500. Now it's $15. I'm going to get it. Ooh, I'm saving money. It's like, no, dude, you still gave them $15. Anyway, this dude, bad news, man. This Simon dude, he did this so many times. He got canned, by the way. I think this was in Finland, right? He got 3 years in Finland.
Yeah, 2 years
for fraud.
2 years something.
2
years. 3 years. 3 years. Yeah.
Was it 3 years? Right. For
defrauding.
Fraud. Right.
Defrauding several women.
Right. And then he got 15 months in an Israeli prison.
When actually, I think this is really funny. When arrested in Finland, by the way, remember, he was born in 1990.
Right.
When arrested in Finland, he claimed he was an Israeli man born in 1978.
1978.
How did he think he would get away with this?
Make it make
How?
sense.
Like, I just age really slow, dude. Like, since I was a kid, man, I never looked my age, man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
3 forged Israeli driver's licenses, 2 forged Israeli flight permits,
Yeah.
and 5 forged American Express credit cards.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk about just a little bit of, sort of like a grocery list of his cons and how he got in trouble and why he's free today. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. And we are back. Like we never left. Sibel.
Hello.
Sibel.
Hi.
Please resist every urge that you currently have
I just want one more.
to make more noise with the candy wrappers. Come on.
I'm just gonna have one more. Just one more.
I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm gonna leave this in so everyone can hear what a child you are. And after I made such an effort to present you as something other than this earlier in the episode, I put so much effort into setting you up as someone with great levels of intelligence, and now you come and do this. Oh my goodness. I take it all back. I take it all back.
My friend. A wise move.
All right. So we are back, and let's talk about, his some more of his criminal activities and, him getting into trouble. So in 2011, he was charged in Israel with theft, forgery, and fraud for cashing stolen checks. Again, this seems to be like the go-to for this guy, right? And
he likes his checks.
Right. So it also talks a little bit about that incident that we mentioned where he swiped a checkbook belonging to a family while babysitting their child, and another time he was working as a handyman at their home and he stole their check that time too. He never showed up for his court appearances, right?
Ran off to Jordan.
He went into Jordan, right? With a fake passport.
And with what a name.
Under the name
Mordecai Nassim Tapiro.
Yeah, what a name.
Hello, sir. What's your name?
Mordecai Nassim Tapiro.
Oh, all right. You can go through. That doesn't sound anything at all like Shimon.
Hayut, right? Anyway, so he got in there with a fake passport, and then he fled to Europe, as you do, right? Yeah. And then the next year, he was indicted by a court in Israel, right? And charged with theft and forgery of checks. So he started forging checks at this point, right? Moving on up in the world. Right, as well as leaving a child that he was babysitting unattended, right? And
Wonderful.
then in Finland in 2015, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for defrauding several women. How many do you think several is? Like a bevy of ladies?
I don't know. Several, I always think 7 because of the sev at the beginning. I don't know.
So at least 7 women, according to you.
At least 7.
Allegedly. Right. All right. Yeah. So, this is where he was found with all the stuff that Sibel was mentioning, the fake passports, faked driver's licenses, faked flight permits, and forged American Express credit cards, right? So he was forging Amexes. After finishing his sentence early, well, that was a mistake. He should have done the whole time
off for good behavior.
Yeah. He returned to Israel to be recharged and sentenced in 2017. However, according to the Times of Israel, he assumed a different identity by changing his legal name to Simon Leviev, right? And fled the country again. Oh my goodness, right? This time he traveled around Europe, pretending to be different people. He exploited several women in Germany under the name Michael Bilton. Come on. Are you
Not
just gonna?
Bolton.
He's
Not Michael
just
Bolton.
gonna change
Bilton.
one vowel and that's it. That's the laziest. He's like, come on.
Said I loved you, but I lied.
Yeah, that's Michael Bolton. Anyway, so he changed his name to Michael Bilton, which is just a disgrace of an alias. Like, so lazy. He's so lazy. Yeah. So anyway, he did this, and he also pretended that he was the son of this Russian Israeli Mughal.
Leviev.
Right. So, yeah, man, he did a bunch of bad things. And in 2019, he was arrested by Interpol in Greece after using a forged passport. All right. Later that year, he was sentenced to 15 months in prison in Israel, but was released 5 months later as a result of the COVID pandemic. Right. All right. So I guess prisons were too full. They needed to depopulate the prisons. So I guess he got lucky. They're like, oh, non-violent criminal, you get to go home. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. According to the Mirror, he later offered business advice for a fee via a website.
Oh, that is so concerning. This is one of those things that scares me. Like, right. People who are, this is one of those things that reminds me of, like, have you ever met business students who like to read Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
That terrifies me.
Yeah.
That terrifies me.
It's like, why what exactly are you learning? How is this your hero? Ooh. What are you about to unleash? What are you about to unleash on the world?
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
And then this really upsets me that he pretended to be a medical worker.
Exactly.
To get the COVID-19 vaccine early.
Right. I knew this one was going to piss you off. I knew this one was particularly going to piss you off. Yeah. So, yeah, man, he piece of work, this guy. Piece of work. I will tell you, he is free today.
My favorite thing is the fact, he's free today. And my favorite and funniest thing about this is that he's on that website Cameo and is charging people
$200. Yeah, $200 for Cameo.
I'm pretty sure he's probably making money, man.
Of course he's making money. Of course the world is crazy.
BB, we should make a Cameo account, man.
Nah, first we need to do a crime that is worthy of Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus. And then we should do a Cameo.
I am sure that at least one of our 5 subscribers will pay us for a Cameo.
Not enough, dude. Not enough. We need at least 50 million viewers who will go and say, yeah, I'm going to give you $200 to talk at my daughter's 5th birthday party. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, that's the end of the episode. We again, guys, don't do crimes and don't embarrass your family. I come from
don't leave a baby unattended.
Yeah.
Forget everything else. Don't leave a baby unattended.
Yeah. If you take nothing else,
don't lie and get pandemic vaccines.
Right.
You piece of shit.
Right.
But also, don't leave a baby unattended.
Yeah. At the very least, right? I mean, because it's like when you do,
and if you're going to break a woman's heart, don't steal $40,000.
Right. It's just, I don't know. It's just a special place in hell. In my view, it's just dude.
BB has a baby. This is very upsetting.
I don't need to have a baby though to know that you don't have a baby and you know that this is messed up.
Yeah, it really upsets me.
Yeah,
it really upsets me. I'm giving the listeners a little bit of flavor, a little bit of context.
Yeah. So
I'm just trying to help you recover from the Phil Collins, Michael Bolton.
That never happened, man. I don't know why you're bringing it up.
Well, I've mentioned it enough times that you're going to have to edit it out.
I don't know why you're bringing it up again. I don't get it. The episode is over. I don't know what you're doing, man. It's just, yeah, you can find this podcast. you can find this podcast everywhere pods are cast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're also on Instagram as Hairbrain Schemes Pod. We have episodes every Friday. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Come listen. It's always a good
Please
time.
tell all your friends.
Please tell all your friends, all 2 of them. That would be great. And yeah, that's it. That's the episode, man. We will see you.
Nice.
We will see you next week.
Thank you all for joining. And thank you all. Thank you, baby, for being so supportive, man. And
Hey,
thank you all for
I am so proud of you. As long as you don't do any crimes, we're good. We're good.
Thanks, buddy. I'll never do one intentionally. I promise.
Intentionally. Now, while I sleepwalk, whatever I do, that's another story, but intentionally, never. Right? All right. I'll take that. I'll take that. That's fine. All right, people. Take care. Bye now.